All right, Gemini, beautiful, beautiful pull this week. So from Late Vampire, you pulled Love Conquers All. Enduring loyalty, eternal love, and lasting commitment. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled Joy. So now what I'm getting from this is, because Joy is very much like the Fool, I think that for you, if love is being renewed for you in something or someone, now is the time for you to go after it, because once you do that, it's going to move you into a more joyous phase in your life. But it can show that there's going to be significant change, whether that's moving, a new job, a marriage, an actual birth. You know, there's all these different things with joy, but it's about being that conduit for joy, but only because there is being love restored to something in your life, right? Now, Joy also says that this is the moment after the leap. You may not see where you are going, but you will land on your feet. You know, and it's about needing to invite more happiness into your life, right? All right, Gemini, here's your overall for the week, the 9 of Cups. So yeah, you know, what is going to make you happy, right? Now, definitely it could be saying that this week you're going to have your wishes come true, which is perfect. You know, but I've always said when it comes to your own happiness, you know, it's your responsibility to create that, right? Which I go back to Joy and think you need to go after this. You need to go after what you actually want, what is actually going to make you happy, right? Now, I don't know what it is with him, but I see him consistently when it comes to Gemini readings. The King of Pentacles. Now, with the King of Pentacles, you're talking about, you know, success, right? Somebody who knows how to maintain their success. But, you know, I also look at dependability when it comes to the King of Pentacles. But then, you know, I also worry about this being somebody who is looking at what they can gain by being involved with another person. But he doesn't have to be bad. So we'll see how he's playing out here. Now, with the King of Pentacles, right, you could be dealing with an earth sign here, but, you know, I look at this and I think it's more about, you know, being successful and being happy, right? And being smart when it comes to creating, you know, long-lasting success. Now, in the present, the Knight of Swords. So, you know, definitely if we're talking about a person that you're dealing with here, I think that, you know, with the Knight of Swords, it's just you basically standing your ground about, you know, what it is that you expect to see from this person. But, you know, it's really about what you want, what is going to make you happy, you know, and again, this could just be about a work situation, but I do think that some of you are dealing with the King of Pentacles here, you know, and it may be that they're too focused on their career. You know, and it's kind of like, hey, you know, I'm here. You know, and then with the 9 of Cups being there, though, too, it's really about you, you know, being forthright when it comes to getting up and getting after what brings you happiness, right? There's always that feeling of, like, conviction with that Knight of Swords. You know, I don't think it's about somebody telling you some harsh truth. You know, I think that that's more you and the action that you're taking in the present moment here, because, you know, what you want is on the line. Future conditions, the Star, and, you know, that's perfect, right? So now, you know, if we're talking about a relationship here, no matter what that relationship is with this person, you know, it could be that you need to voice things very clearly. But after you do that, it leads to a place of hope and healing and happiness. I mean, to me, it looks good, but for some reason, you may be needing to be harsh with either yourself or someone else. You know, because I still feel like we need to get up and we need to go. You know, it's not about passion. It's not about excitement here. You know, it's about success and happiness. You know, I also look at the Star and I feel like bigger and better, right? Like I deserve better. I deserve my happiness. You know, you have every right to move forward with conviction on that. Your best path to follow, the King of Swords. Now, what I will say when it comes to that, because of the Knight of Swords being in the present moment, again, I don't feel like it's, somebody saying something harsh to you, but it may be that you need to think before you speak, looking at the King of Swords, right? Because you're talking about clear communicator, thinking logically, thinking reasonably, But I look at both of these kings and I think, there's a need to pull on some inner wisdom here. Whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter here. When it comes to communicating to others about what is going to make you happy, right? And I look at the star and I think it reminds me of like allow from the soul trees, or, just allowing things to unfold here, kind of going with the flow of things, keeping your own emotional balance. But I still look at that King of Swords and think that, the reason why he's sitting here is because of this. Oh boy, yeah, in your environment, the Two of Cups. So, I just look at this and it's not like the Seven of Wands where you need to be defensive. But I do think that there's a need for you to speak up. But I think that when you do say something to someone, you need to think about, what you're going to say here. Be clear about what you are trying to communicate. Because the intention here is for you to be happy, right? And get to a place of healing, possibly within a relationship once you speak up to somebody about what you're expecting, And again, it doesn't matter what the relationship is here, but it's about seeing eye to eye, and not having to be in this place where you have to be so direct with someone, because you don't want to say something that you can't take back. Because one of the things I've always said with the Knight of Swords is he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit what somebody else has to say. He's got something to communicate, but if you're not willing to listen to somebody else, that could be a bad thing, right? But then I still feel like it's about you needing to say something though too, just needing to, be very clear and concise about what it is that you're communicating. Your hopes and your fears, the Page of Pentacles. This is what I'm going to say about this. This to me looks like let's start over with this relationship. Let's start over here and get back to a place where you are on the same page, right? And I mean, like literally seeing eye to eye, understanding each other, accepting of, the way that the both of you are feeling, right? The Page of Pentacles to me is about getting something started, but it's definitely, the student. This is about taking new knowledge and applying it in a way where you get to see the results that you want, but it's working from the bottom to the top. So wanting to get something started, wanting to get something going here, but needing to start over or start from the bottom, and can you do this? Can we start over? Can we build a better relationship here? And I mean, it looks good here, right? But the communication, the way that you're speaking to someone needs to be looked at, and it's not that you're wrong for saying what you need to say here. It's just, you need to make sure that they see it from, that logical standpoint. And that's by you being the clear communicator here, right? But I still see this as a hope to, let's take what we've learned from this relationship, our past experiences, and see, where we can go now or how we can make this better, And I feel like that's what you want, especially with these two, right? But can you just go with the flow of the situation, or do you feel like you need to be in control of the direction that it's heading, because this is about two people seeing things the same way, and you can't force somebody to see your point of view if they don't. And then coming out the Eight of Pentacles, it's just going to take some work, right? It's just going to take some work here. But I still feel like you're willing to put in the effort, But if you're wanting the other person to do the same here, like I said, it's just a look at the way that you feel like you need to communicate with them because of this. It's too harsh. It's too direct, right? Now, with the Ten of Wands, what I feel like looking at this, especially if we're going back to the question of dependability on another person's part, it could be that you're taking on too much. Now, definitely, whatever is weighing on you could be the way that you are thinking because of another person here, which is why there's such like harsh, direct communication. But the thing is with the Nine of Swords, right, it is your thoughts running away with you. But these are the thoughts that are like torturing you, right? So there is a need to say something about that instead of like withholding it or keeping it all in your mind and driving you nuts. You know, and it could just very simply be that you need to speak up and say something. You know, it doesn't have to be anything bad about the other person unless it's about you taking on too much, right? Because of them dumping something on you, which is possible. Now, looking at the Hierophant though, and coming all the way out, if we're talking about, you know, any type of commitment here with the Hierophant, to me, it looks really good. It's just going to take a lot of work to get to where you want to be. I mean, you know, that's basically it. The Hierophant, though, I mean, definitely it could be that you're trying to communicate to somebody that, look, I want something traditional. You know, if we're talking about a relationship, right? Now, it could be that, you know, there are a lot of thoughts that have been weighing on you for a while and it's getting a little bit out of control here. And, you know, you need to just be very direct on what it is that you want before you get involved with any major commitment with the Hierophant. You know, but I still look at the Star and the Nine of Cups and the way it comes out and think, you know, the amount of effort that's put through is ultimately what's going to determine, you know, you getting to a place of feeling hopeful about getting what you want. You know, you got to put in the work here. You got to put in the effort, but you can't, you know, be the only one carrying all of it though. You know, but I look at the Nine of Swords and I think there are a lot of like thoughts going on surrounding this, and they may be going into a negative place because of, you know, the pressure that's being built up on you, and then finally it just comes out in a way that may be a little bit too direct, right? You know, but I still look at this as an attempt here to get somebody to see things your way, you know, but you can't be forceful about it. You know, because I still see this as an opportunity to, you know, make things better in a relationship, no matter what the relationship is. But I do think that clarity is needed in the communication so that the other person understands, you know, from a logical standpoint, what is being said to them, rather than you coming off as this, and that. You know what I mean? And it's not that you're trying to be that way, but if your thoughts weren't there, then, you know, you wouldn't be feeling like the Knight of Swords, you know, which makes me wonder if this person hasn't put these thoughts in your head, right? Like, not that they are messing with your mind, but because of their actions, I think would be the best way to put it. You know, because I'm not like looking at the Magician here or like the Seven of Swords. I don't see any type of manipulation trying to continue here if that was the case. I just think that whatever this person has done in the past, there is a chance in moving forward here. It's just that all your thoughts surrounding everything that's been weighing on you may come out in a really harsh way. And then the beginning of new possibilities, but only through wisdom. I see this as a good thing, but, you know, like I said before, with the Kings, I felt like that to begin with, right? Like in needing to pull on that inner wisdom, right? Because that is the Kings. You know, they've gained wisdom through their experiences. They still have their faults and flaws, for sure, but, you know, they all have wisdom in their own fields, respectively. Now, the possibilities are open here for a new beginning with a relationship. You know, and I go back to that Page of Pentacles and I think, yeah, it's going to take a lot of hard work, but, you know, it is the beginning of a new connection, a new relationship, something good. I see it as a good thing. But, you know, I still go back to this and think, yeah, right? Like they need to see the wisdom in what you are communicating to them. and then focus on love. For crying out loud, if I could talk right. Look for the good attributes in each and every person in your life. And like I've always said when it comes to this card, right? You can't hold things against other people to the point where you can never see the possibility of them becoming a better person. Now, on the other hand, right, you can't judge somebody because of assholes that you've dealt with before. That's what that card is for me. You know, it is about needing to see the good in somebody despite what they may have done before, especially if they're looking at trying to have a reconnection with you, right? But be in the present and dream of the future. Dream of all the possibilities, the good possibilities that could come out of having a better connection with this person, right? But stay in the present moment. Enjoy those present moments, right? That is where your power is. But, you know, I see this as possibly having a much, much better connection with a person here. But it's all about the way that you communicate, about how you feel, how, you know, you are seeing the situation with this person, right? You can't force somebody, like I said, to see things your way. You know, but you can explain it in a way where they can kind of understand and say, you know what? You know, I finally hear you. I understand you. I understand where you're coming from, you know, rather than feeling like you constantly have to be beating on them about, hey, listen, you know, which I feel like that for some of you here. It's going to take a lot of hard work, but I do think that there is going to be healing here, hope restored, with the Star being there, absolutely, and with the Nine of Cups, you know, a chance for happiness. All right, Gemini, so I do look at this as possibly rebuilding a relationship with someone. You know, that seems to be the big thing here, but then also like setting of boundaries. I do think that you want this. I do think that you want this relationship, no matter what the relationship is. You want that kind of connection with this person. But, you know, I still feel like it's something that they have done that has got you, you know, thinking about things in a negative way. You know, and I find it interesting that possibilities showed up in reverse out of soul trees, which is interesting to me. But I do think, though, that wisdom, and again, right, wisdom is needed when it comes to this. You can't force them to see your perspective, but, you know, you can clearly communicate in a logical, clear, and concise way what you are expecting out of this, right? Because we're still hoping here to build something new. You know, rebuilding a relationship, healing some issues here, having hope restored, but it is going to take a lot of hard work, you know, but you can't be the one here taking on all the responsibilities. But I do feel like, you know, with the Ten of Wands, especially with the Nine of Swords, that all of these thoughts have been weighing on you. And that's why we're looking at the Knight of Swords in the present moment, where it just kind of comes out in a really harsh way, right? But they may need to hear it, though, especially if this is what's been going on in your mind based on what they may have done. You know, because I get that from this. Now, coming out with the Hierophant, right, it's going to take a lot of hard work here to, you know, build this commitment, this connection here. But I also feel like it's about you, you know, saying, look, we're going to have to put in a lot of hard work here because I want to have this commitment. I want to have something traditional, you know, and I see it all as a really good thing, but I have to wonder here if, you know, you're not looking at this and thinking that the possibilities are limited, I think is the best way to put it. But, you know, again, definitely some wisdom is needed here when it comes to the possibility of the beginning of, you know, a reconnection here. Now, like I said, you know, kicking this off here, if love is being reignited for you, then you're just going to have some faith here and go for it, right? With joy, because ultimately when you take that leap, it will lead to joy in your life. But I do think that you are right for wanting to be very clear and very direct with them about the way that you are thinking, possibly based on the way that they have acted in the past. You know, not wanting to like regret doing this, you know, because you're still hoping though to rebuild here. And that's what I feel like looking at the Page of Pentacles. But, again, you can't force somebody to see your perspective, but you have every right to set some boundaries, right? Just use wisdom with the way that you're communicating. Now, again, be in the present and dream of the future. When we dream, everything is possible. It's the possibilities, right? You have to be open to, the possible changes that can happen here with this connection. Because focus on love is saying that you need to start looking at, the good parts of this person. Right? But, the same thing goes. When I look at focus on love, I think of, other assholes that have played a part in, the way that you see people coming through. You still have to look for the good in everybody. And I think that that's what you're trying to do when it comes to this person. But I look at all of this and think that this is about rebuilding a relationship for you.